Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing fine and welcome back to the Wee Larder channel. Today I'm going to be making 3 delicious make ahead school breakfasts. So we had quite a busy week this week. It was our first week back at school, but we did use some of these breakfast items in the morning and it really just helped just smooth things over a little bit because we have 3 at school and 1 at home, 1 little toddler, so it's quite crazy in the mornings getting everyone ready and out the door. And to have these make ahead breakfast items just to pop in the oven for 10 minutes, it just made things a little bit easier. So the 3 delicious recipes we're going to make today are the fruity iced slices. Now you don't have to add the icing on this if you don't want to, it's totally optional. So they have like a creamy cheese filling with the fruit on top and they're baked in the oven and they are so easy to make and they're really nice. And the second recipe is for the Scottish haggis breakfast wraps. So it's veggie haggis, scrambled eggs and cheese. And the third recipe is the banana bread muffins. So they are all real simple, easy recipes to help you make them up on a Sunday night. Because I know myself, I don't have much time for cooking in the evenings. And when I want to make ahead breakfasts and lunches and dinners and things, I want them to be super easy. So that's why I've made these recipes really simple. So I hope they help smooth things out for you in the morning a little bit, even if you're using them before you go to work. Or school. I'd love to hear in the comments below if they helped a little bit and if you'd like to see more recipes like this as well. So let's get started on our delicious make ahead breakfasts. So to get started, we're going to be making our iced berry slices first of all, and you might want to pause it at these ingredients here. And we're just going to start with making our cream cheese filling. So this is super easy, this recipe. I'm actually using Philadelphia for my cream cheese, but you can use any other brand or the supermarket brand, it really doesn't matter. I'm just going to empty out that whole tub into there. And we're going to add in our brown sugar, our vanilla, and a squeeze of lemon as well. So we're just going to mash all that through, and it does take a minute or so just to blend everything really well together. So we just want to make sure that we have a nice creamy consistency again and that everything is really well blended. So it does take a minute or so, but you're looking for something like this when it is ready, and it tastes so good. So I'm just using a pack of pre-rolled puff pastry. If you're feeling adventurous, feel free to make your own for this recipe, but just to keep things super easy, I am using my pre-rolled puff pastry. And I'm just going to cut my puff pastry as so. So we're going to get 12 of these pastries out of here, and we're just going to score the inside of the triangle. So we're going to make a smaller triangle on the inside, and we're just going to put our cream cheese on top. And this is just so that the pastry rises around the cream cheese area. So you don't want the cream cheese going onto your little border, just so that you can let that rise up in the oven. And you just want to use a fork or your finger just to spread out across your triangle. So I ended up using my finger in the end, it was just a little bit easier. So if you put your cream cheese quite thick on as well, because it does dry out a little bit in the oven, so you still want them nice and creamy. So if you put a good blob on, and if you just use your finger just to spread it out to the edges and just cover them all. So as I said, you do want to add quite a good amount of cream cheese, just so that they're so nice and creamy when they come out of the oven. And we're just going to add our washed berries onto our triangle of cream cheese, and you can use a mixture of berries. You can use all the same berries if you want. So if you just want blueberry ones, you could just use blueberries. I've just used blackberries, raspberries and blueberries. I just wanted like a little mixture, but you could just use one type of fruit if you wanted to. You could also use maybe sliced apples as well. And we're just going to place them carefully onto our tray, and we're going to bake those at 160 for 20 minutes. So you want to preheat your oven before you are making these as well. So you pop them all into your tray. Excuse my extremely rustic tray, it is quite old now and it is well used. And we're just going to pop those into the oven, and when they are ready, we just pop them onto our chopping board to cool, or you can use like a cooling rack or something instead. So we're going to cool those before we ice them. We're just going to pop our next batch on as well. So for the icing, we're just mixing up a little bit of the icing sugar with a little bit of water, and we are then just going to drizzle that across all of these nice cooled pastries. So you don't have to add the icing, as I mentioned before, because obviously it is additional sugar, but I just think they work really well with a little drizzle of icing. And these also make a really good weekend treat as well, and you can make them up on a Saturday or Sunday morning, and they're really, really delicious. So those are our delicious iced fruity pastries. And next we're going to make our Scottish breakfast wraps. So you might want to pause the video here for the ingredients. And we're going to start by adding a bit of butter into our pan, and we're going to add in our wee veggie haggis. I didn't actually put the butter in the ingredients list, but so you don't have to use butter to cook it. If you're using a non-stick pan, you can maybe use a little bit of water as well, but I like to add a little bit of butter. So I'm just crumbling my veggie haggis into the pan. And I love this Simon Howie veggie haggis as well. It is super delicious. I also like McSween's haggis. They also do a really good veggie one. And we like normal haggis too, but we also like the veggie haggis to have now and again. It's especially good for breakfast, I find. So we're adding some salt and pepper into our eggs there, and we're just going to give that a good flavour. You could also add a little bit of herbs if your kids like that kind of thing. I like to keep it simple for mine. And we're just going to whisk that up so that the eggs are completely mixed through. Now you don't have to, but I am adding in a little splash of milk here just into my scrambled eggs. You don't have to do that though. I don't have that in the ingredients list, but you can add it in if you want to. It's completely optional. So I'm just going to pour that into the pan once they are really mixed through. So it just takes a minute or so just to give it a good whisk through. So I want to make sure that it is completely blended together. And we're adding a really good chunk of butter again into the pan for the eggs. So I use quite a lot of butter for my eggs, and my kids love their scrambled eggs buttery and creamy, and I do too actually. I probably don't use as much butter for myself. If you're using a non-stick pan, again, you don't have to use so much butter. So we're just going to pour our eggs into our pan, and we're going to give that a good mix through just with a little bit of butter just to make sure it's melted. And we're then just going to leave that to cook for about 10 minutes or so on a medium-ish heat. We're going to stir the haggis through now and again, and stir the eggs through now and again as well. And once it is cooked through, you should have something that looks a little bit like this. So our haggis is cooked through, it's piping hot inside. It took about 10 minutes, and the eggs are cooked through as well. You can mix it all together if you want to. It really doesn't matter if they are mixed together, that's totally fine. And our eggs are ready as well. So these couldn't be easier to put together. It's just quite simply wholemeal wraps, and then we're going to add cheese in as well. So if you get your wrap, add a handful of grated cheese, add a scoop of eggs. I'm using an ice cream scoop, as you do. I have some funky spoon choices in my kitchen. And we're adding a scoop of haggis, or 2 scoops of haggis, and we're then going to fold that up. So you fold it in at the sides, fold it over once from the back, fold it in at the top, and then roll it over. And you just pop these in the oven for 10 minutes when you're just before serving, and they are super delicious, so just to melt the cheese. You could also pop them in the microwave as well if you have a microwave, maybe for like a minute or so. And you should have something like this, and you can just store these in the fridge in an airtight container, or you can wrap them up in cling film or whatever you have available. So next we're going to make our banana bread muffins, and you might want to pause it at the ingredients here. And we're just going to start by sieving all of our flour into the mixing bowl. So if you just do that for a minute or so just to get all the lumps out, and then we're going to add in our baking powder. And if you just mix all that through the sieve as well. And we're going to add in our pinch of salt as well. We're then going to add in our vanilla and our cinnamon. Now if you're doing this by hand, you might want to mix the dry ingredients together before you add in all the other ingredients. Because I'm using my mixer, I'm basically just putting everything in. So we're putting our butter, our brown sugar and our golden syrup in here as well. And this is like so sticky. And I am using a baby spoon here. Another funky spoon choice for me today. So if you just give that a good mix through, just for a minute or so. I'm going to pop our egg in there as well, and we're then going to add in our bananas. So you can mash your bananas before you add them into your mixing bowl. If you're doing it by hand, it might be easier to do that, but because I'm using my KitchenAid, I am basically just popping everything in and mixing it all through. So we're going to give that a good mix through until everything is completely combined together. And we're going to preheat our oven as well to 160, and that's a fan oven as well. And we're going to crush some pecans into our banana muffin mixture. So this is optional, you don't have to add the pecans in, but I just like adding the pecans in. So I'm just crushing them by hand. You can chop them with a knife if you want to as well, if you want to be more precise. And we're just giving them a wee mix through. So we're not mixing for long because we don't want to break them up anymore, so we still want them a little bit chunky. And we're going to pop those into 12 cupcake cases, or muffin cases rather. So you want to try and spread the mixture out amongst your 12 cases. And we're then going to put that in the oven for 25 minutes. And they should look something like this. Now you can add a little bit of icing if you want to. I don't know what happened to that tiny one there. I think I must have not put enough mixture into that cupcake. But as I was saying, I actually just like them without icing. They're really, really nice, and they're also really good as snacks as well. My kids love them as snacks too. So you can eat these warm. If you want to make them ahead, you can just pop them into the oven for 10 minutes before serving as well, and they're really delicious warm. So I hope you enjoyed making those breakfast recipes. I'm sure you'll agree they are super delicious. They usually last us for the whole week, but the banana bread muffins go down really well as a snack as well. So if we're using them for snacks, then the kids tend to eat them up fast because they are super delicious. If you took a photo of any of the things that you made, please feel free to tag me over on Instagram. And if you want a copy of my free cookbook, you can pick that up with a link in the description box below, or you can pop over to angiemilne.com. So I'm actually making my new family seasonal cookbook at the moment. I can't wait to get this out to you guys. It is really, really good. I've got so many delicious recipes in there. So that's going to be coming very, very soon. So if you put your email in for that free cookbook, I will notify you guys when that one is available. So it should be very, very soon. I am working really hard on it just now. And if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up, and if you click that little bell next to it, I will see you guys again soon. So another thing is as well, if you liked this type of recipe, like a make ahead family meal prep type recipe, then let me know in the comments below, and I'll be sure to get some more of these types of recipes out to you as well. So take care everyone, I hope to see you all again soon. Lots of love, bye bye.